Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Saturday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. And Scotty's Michael J. Fox Studios in Beverly Hills, California. Both earthquake-proof, I'll tell you. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network, as the Devils are 1-0-0 since the earthquake in New Jersey, beating the Ottawa Senators 4-3. There is hope, Scotty. Kind of.
There's the slimmest of slims need a miracle on top of a miracle on top of a miracle to try and get the playoff run going. But hey, they won today, so they avoided a 4-game losing streak, which, you know, we've talked a lot about the Devils not having a 4-game winning streak. They've had 2 3-game winning streaks, but never anything more than that. But the Devils also haven't lost 4 in a row this year either. And I think Captain Bill Spaulding said it best on the broadcast: consistently inconsistent. I think that's the best way to describe this team for this season. But lots of things to talk about with this game. On the road up there in Ottawa, starting their, count them, 16th back-to-back of the season. 16th back-to-back. Holy jeez. That's a lot. As we're going into the final stretch here, they got to get a little revenge on these Ottawa Senators. Your lines are tweaked around a little bit. Dawson Mercer goes up to the first line. Jesper Bratt to the second. Holtzy to the third. DeSimone is back in. John Marino, we know he's been dealing with an injury for quite some time. Finally back out of the lineup so he can rest up and maybe get a little healthy. But lots of points here to get through on this game. So let's get to it right now, because it started out in the Devils' favor very early on. Erik Haula gets his 15th goal of the year, an even strength goal at 3:50 into the first period. The Devils score first. Who would have thunk it? And this was a nice play. Actually, he had some bad plays today, but in the first period there was a beautiful play by Gentleman Jack, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Jack Hughes, as he moves through the neutral zone. He basically poked the puck to himself through Sens D-man's legs, or forward's legs, and he comes into the zone, and he's able to back the defense off a little bit, which allows Erik Haula to streak in on the other side. Jack puts a pass right across on the tape, which is something we've been seeing from this team. We know when they're crisp on their passes, they're going to put the puck in the net. And Erik Haula didn't miss with his 15th of the year there. At 3:50 of the first period to go up 1-0. Jack Hughes gets the assist there. The primary is 47th, and Brandon Smith starts a career night for him with his 8th assist of the year. And then we had a nice little throwdown there. Big Mac, Curtis McDermott back in the lineup again with, how do you say it? Imana. I think that's how you say it, right? Imama, something like that. Just called up from the AHL. Kid with some toughness, with a little beef. Puts a big hit, and then Big Mac threw some big punches and put him down to the ice. Nothing really too much there, but Big Mac got about 3 or 4 shots in there before Inma, I think that's how you say it. Inma, is that what it is? Inma went down to the ice. So always good getting some of those fisticuffs going as well. Get the boys into the game. After that, the man who I know a lot of us have had an issue with this year, with his production and everything else, and the injuries that have come seemingly throughout his Devils career. But Andre Palat gets his 11th goal of the season. Yes, only 11. At 12:36 of the first period, another even strength goal to put the Devils up 2-0. And this one, you got to give credit to Holtzy. Moved down there on that third line. He was on a fierce forecheck behind the net. He forces a turnover, and then he feeds Luke Hughes at the point, and Luke just lets a simple, easy shot go, and the Devils have some traffic in front, and Palat's able to get a stick on it to redirect through the 5-hole of Forsberg, a good, simple, easy play. Would love to see more of this from the Devils rather than 2,000 passes, it seems like at times, where it's just like, shoot the puck already. But this play was really made by Alexander Holtz in that forecheck behind the net. So Palat gets his 11th. Luke gets his 35th assist of the year. Alexander Holtz gets his 12th even strength goal at 12:36. And Luke ties Will the Butcher for most points by a rookie defenseman wearing a Devils sweater. I think is it 44 or 45? I think it's 44 points that Luke has now on the season. Again, tying him with Will the Butcher for the most points ever as a rookie Devils defenseman. So I'm going to go out there on a limb and say Luke will most likely be breaking that record before the season is up. So congratulations to him, seeing his improvement throughout the year. We know that Luke made a lot of those rookie mistakes early on, but he seems to be continually cleaning them up, and you see them less and less. And hell's bells, dude had almost 35 minutes on the ice during the Ranger game after everyone got tossed, which also I think is like the fourth most all time in Devils history, behind I think there was one Paul Martin game where he had like 35 or 36, and then a couple Niedermeyers in there. So good on Luke for coming through, and like seeing his progression throughout the season. Made us go crazy a couple times earlier in the season, but to see where he is now from those mistakes and those turnovers that he was making so constantly, through the majority of the season, you just love to see that growth and that hockey sense and the maturity coming to Luke Hughes at such a young age. And we know defensemen usually takes a lot longer to develop. So Luke is going to be something real special for this team. After that, Mr. Brendan Smith got his 5th goal of the year at 16:34 to put the Devils up 3-0. That's Brendan Smith with the Smithian slapper from the point, and was that a blast? And it got just inside the point, actually nicked off the post and in, past the glove of Forsberg, and it was a rifle of a shot over there from Brendan Smith. Gave a nice little celly there afterwards at center ice. Second point of the night. Jesper Bratt gets the primary assist, his 52nd of the year. And what was that? I think Stevens has got the all-time assist record, but for forwards, they were showing the graphic today. I think it's Jack from last year. I think he had 56 or 58. Patty's up there as well. I think Gomer too. Jesper Bratt's getting pretty close as a forward. For those big numbers over there, he might, has a good chance as well. By the end of this year, 5 games left? Might be able to get 4 more assists on the board there, which would be great for Jesper Bratt. At the end of the period, Brady Tkachuk, who, by the way, might have one of the most punchable faces in hockey today. I don't know if it's just me, but every time you look at him, you just kind of want to, unless he's on your team, then you love him. And don't get me wrong, I would love to have Brady Tkachuk on the Devils because he would bring that intensity that I know myself, Sam Woo, and a lot of other Devils fans feel is missing from this team at times. But he definitely has that, just kind of like you just want to just that punchable face for some reason. I don't know what it is, but he put a big hit on Nico Hischier in the corner. Clean hit, just a big hit. This one was clean. There was another one that was maybe a little bit more questionable, but this one was a clean hit in the corner. But love seeing Brendan Smith, Kevin Ball, and Timo Meyer all jump in there. And I know Ball tried to drop the gloves. I didn't get this either because Ball got a double minor penalty for roughing, and Tkachuk only got a single minor for roughing, even though Tkachuk already had his gloves off. His gloves were dropped first. And then someone pulled Kevin Ball away, and that's when Brendan Smith stepped in there and was really hoping we were going to get a Smith-Tkachuk tilt at some point during this game because, oh, hell's bells, were they battling throughout this entire night. And then almost at the end after the whistle, but it was not to be this time. Okay, we go into the second period, and the Senators get on the board really quickly. 33 seconds in, they get a power play goal from Jake Sanderson, long-range snapper that also, much like the Brendan Smith shot, just kind of nicks off the inside of the post and right in. Allen didn't see it. It did look like Brendan Smith kind of drifted across the crease area just at the least opportune time as the shot was getting let go. And it appeared that Jake the Snake Allen didn't see this shot coming at all. So a little bit of bad timing there, but still it was a nasty shot. Not going to take that away from Sanderson because, like I said, just like the Brendan Smith shot, ting, right off the post and in. So that's a hard one to stop no matter what. But the Sens get on the board there with their first goal, 3-1 power play goal, 33 seconds into it. And then, oh man, Jesper Bratt gets his 53rd assist of the year as he sets up the captain, Nico Hischier, at 11:04 of the second period to put the Devils up 4-1. And oh baby, Jesper with these no-look backhand passes, and again, right on the tape, to Nico Hischier, who's just able to, Jesper Bratt is kind of like behind the goal again, but off more towards the corner. He gets the backhand pass, and then Nico's just able to chip it up and right over Korpisalo, who replaced Forsberg after the first period. So Devils up 4-1 there, just about halfway through the second period. And look at that. Who got the secondary assist on that one? Brendan Smith, his first career 3-point game. So congratulations, old chicken tendies there, doing a hell of a job. We didn't think we were going to see Brendan Smith play this much during the season, but he has. And you know what, as well, even though he's a veteran, Brendan Smith has played better and better throughout the year. You don't see him taking all those penalties that we saw him take throughout the beginning of this season, where it just seemed like every game, no matter what, he was taking at least one or two minors. He's really cleaned it up, and he's turned on the offensive numbers a bit as well. Just getting into play, getting those pucks towards the net. So good on Brendan Smith for coming through. We move into the third period, and another power play goal for the Ottawa Senators to start it out. This was at 3:37 of the third from Claude Giroux, and this was a rifle that went right into the back of the net, and it just kind of stuck there on the video camera back there. And tough one on old Jake Allen. Giroux gets his 21st, again at 3:37 of the third period. Power play goal once again for the Senators. So the Devils, we know their power play has been, but the penalty kill has been so solid throughout, I guess now you can say the majority of the season. Since a little bit before the midway point, the Devils started to really turn it around on the PK. So tonight had some struggles, though, giving up the 2 power play goals. Jack Hughes then gets a penalty shot, and you're like, oh, come on, Jackie boy. Let's make up for that Anaheim game a month or so ago, and let's put this in the bag. It rolls off his stick again. Son of a... Damn it! Ah! Jack Hughes, not so lucky in the old penalty shots this season. So unsuccessful, doesn't even get the shot off. as Jack is trying to stick handle and he's cutting across, trying to get the goaltender to move so he can open up that 5-hole and then shoot it back. Or who knows? He's Jack Hughes. Who knows where he's going to put that puck? That's what I would go with it. But I am not Jack Hughes. Either way, it doesn't matter. As he's stick handling, puck bounces and it goes off his stick. So nothing's nothing there with the penalty shot. And after that, Jake the Snake made a huge chest save on Shabbat as Brendan Smith and Brady Tkachuk were just battling and pummeling each other right in front of the net. That was some good old school hockey there going on between Brendan Smith and Brady Tkachuk throughout the night. Eric Holla had 2 glorious chances to put the Devils up 5-2 at that point. He had one. I think the first pass came from Jesper Bratt, low towards the wing, and Holla was literally just parked in front of the net. And again, pass right on the tape. Holla tries to shovel it, and Korpisalo came up huge. And then they get the rebound. Bratt gets it. He passes it across to Jack Hughes, and then Jack Hughes throws it to Eric Holla right in the front. It was like the same exact play, just from one side to the other. And again, Korpisalo just stones him right in front of the net. The Devils cannot. Simon, if you heard that, that wasn't me. Just want to say that was the dog that I'm watching who was just passing gas. He's sitting here on my foot. So if you heard a noise, if you heard a little noise, that wasn't a Sam Woo sound effect. That was a Simon special here underneath my foot. Whew. He's got some nasties too. Either way, what's happening after that? Okay, Korpisalo gets both. Then we get the Sens really putting the pressure on the Devils here. Nico Hischier came up with a huge shock block. And then another and a clear after Jake Allen kind of fumbles the puck handling it just before the block sequence. It was kind of a little bit of a weird bounce that came off of Jake's stick. So I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with the ice up there in Ottawa tonight. But either way, Nico, massive shot block. Then another, and then the clear to get it out of the zone. But that man with that punchable face. Brady Tkachuk comes through with his 34th goal of the season. The Sens get a nice lucky bounce over here. Nico Hischier puts the big slap shot on net. It goes a bit wide. It hits the boards and goes all the way around and out of the zone. And who's coming off the bench just at the right opportunity, just at the right time for the golden opportunity is one Brady Tkachuk. And he picks it up in stride and he goes right in and he puts it past Jake Allen, glove side, everything all in stride. I mean, you couldn't have timed that out any better if you tried. So they get a little puck luck there, but also you got to finish. You got to finish. Going back to that penalty shot off of Jack's stick, you got to finish. Eric Holla getting stopped twice by Korpisalo in front of the net. This goal wouldn't have even mattered if the Devils got one of those there just to put the Senators away. But they let him hang around, and now all of a sudden it's 4-3. And the Senators just bring the onslaught. Everything they can, they are throwing at the Devils. And, Batherson, he missed a wide open net. And this whole play started by a big hit by guess who? Brady Tkachuk, which was this one was a little bit questionable. He hit Kevin Ball. It was kind of from behind a little bit. Play happens quick, but what I love to see, 2 things. Kevin Ball got right back up, and he got himself in front of the net, and he was the one that was taking up most of the space because Jake Allen was trying to go side to side, and Batherson already beat him and had the shot going by the time he was trying to move. So Kevin Ball really took up, a big portion of that net when Batherson was trying to shoot, hence why it went high and wide to the side. But then as soon as Brady Tkachuk hit Kevin Ball, look who was standing right behind him, Brendan Smith. And I don't know if you caught it because the camera was kind of moving back because the play was going towards the net. But Brendan Smith just unloaded a shoulder check onto Brady Tkachuk. I mean, right into the chest and just pushed him back into the glass. I wouldn't even say push. I'll say slammed him back into the glass. It was big hit for big hit. Again, some of that old school hockey. It was a lot of fun to see out there. Then Jake Allen, near the end of the game, made a massive leg save on Brady Tkachuk. This was right off a faceoff. The Sens had pulled Korpisalo. Faceoff comes, pass comes across. Tkachuk is on the far side, and he lets it rip. And, whoa, Jake Allen is sliding across with that leg down on the ice. Nothing's getting through down low. And he stops Brady Tkachuk. And then Brendan Smith makes two more big blocks himself before Pinto puts the knuckle puck floater on net, which I think Jake the Snake got a little piece of, but it's like going super slow motion, and it ting goes off the post and just like dies right in the crease, and the Devils are able to clear it. And then we saw what happened at the end of the game. As the time's expiring, Nico Hischier just kind of slides the puck into the Sens net. They take exception to it, even though people on their team did the same thing in Toronto and a little bit more, slap shot style, where Nico just kind of like let the puck slide off his stick. That's when we thought we were going to get some Brendan Smith, Brady Tkachuk. It didn't happen. Would have been fun. They were both ready and willing to go. But there was a big scrum there at center ice, and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I don't remember who from the Sens did that to the Maple Leafs, but they really shouldn't be ones to be talking right now. I know it's like one of those unwritten rules, but it's not like Nico shot it into the net. He kind of just let it slide off of his stick. He was going to score an empty net goal anyway, but time just ran out. So I know there's the unwritten rules of hockey and all that. Was it an egregious, disrespectful type of move? No. But I get why the Sens are going to be a little ruffled in the feathers. But at the same time, they're the ones that did the massive slap shot into the empty net goal, a few months back to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it caused a massive melee. So, sorry, Brady. You can do and talk all you want there at the ice, but guess what? You got stopped by Jake Allen, and your team lost. Lost, buddy. 4-3. Devils get the victory, and they cling to life in this playoff race, which nobody seems to want to take this final spot. I know the Icelanders won. The Flyers lost. The Capitals lost. I think the Red Wings lost yesterday, right? They didn't play today, but nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Somehow the friggin' Pittsburgh Penguins are now up in that final wild card because they beat the Lightning after blowing, a 4-1 lead and then winning. Unreal. It's going to come down to this final week. The Devils are now, 5 points back of the final spot. They have 78, right? And the Pens have 82. 83, right? I got to look. Hang on. Let me go back and I'm going to look at it real quick. Before I mess everything up, wild card. Pittsburgh, 83 points. Philadelphia, 83 points. Washington, 82. Detroit, 82. Buffalo, 79. The Devils, 78. So they are 5 points behind Pittsburgh. Same amount of games played. Philadelphia has the most games played out of anyone with 78 in this running. Detroit and Washington both have 76. Buffalo also with 77 games played. So they are 5 points out with 5 games to play. So you do have 10 points to work with. So someone cue the old Dumb and Dumber gif. You're telling me there's a chance. It's not a very good one, but in reality, there is a chance for the Devils. Like, again, they need their own miracle. And then they need a miracle for the Penguins, the Red Wings, the Flyers, the Sabres, and the Penguins to all, crash and burn dramatically through this last week here of the season. Shots on goal for the Devils. Hey, where'd it go? I gotta click this little thing right here. There's the old recap. Shots on goal for the Devils, 10-10-8 for a total of 28. The Sens, 8-5-15. Like we said, the Sens were pouring it on in that third period. Face-off percentage, Devils had the advantage, 34 wins to the Sens 26. Devils power play 0 for 2, but like we talked about, the Sens were 2 for 3 on the power play today. So the PK didn't help the Devils out, although it has been one of the brighter points in the second half of the season. Hits, the Sens had a lot of hits, 36 to the Devils 19, and both teams with 21 block shots. Go Devils with those block shots. Love seeing that. Alexander Holtz had himself a good game. Kevin Ball had a good game. Brendan Smith might have had the best game of his best game of the year. Well, maybe not, because he kind of screened Jake Allen on that one goal. But still, he played really, really tough against Brady Tkachuk, and it was a lot of fun, Hanson brother style, watching those two guys just go at it through the entire game. So I want to know what you think about it. Hit us up on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Twitch, Twitter, wherever the hell you might be watching right now, as we check in with the king of the football calls himself from the earth-shaking tundra of New Jersey. It's Sam. By God. Woo!
Thank you, Scotty. You want to see something cool? I can make a shake. Watch. Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it was like. You're probably like, Scotty, you're probably like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. It happens all the time.
Yeah, us. Now I'm just like, oh, there's an earthquake. I just kind of like roll back over and go to sleep. I'm like, it's not even like, it's a 5-pointer. Ugh, whatever.
No, Mrs. Wu. I believe Mrs. Wu told me this yesterday, that it's different from New Jersey and California because this was very shallow where you can actually feel it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can't feel it out here? I can tell you can feel them out here. Trust me.
No. What I mean is a 4.8 is maybe like a 6.0 over there.
Okay. All right. I didn't learn this, but I will say this. Every time it rains in California, no one knows how to drive. So there's that. So we can handle the earthquakes, but the East Coast can handle rain. So,
Yeah.
It's a give and take, Sam Woo. It's a give and take.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if Mrs. Wu told me that, so I take that back because if the information's wrong, then, anyway. But Devils are
4.8.
Yeah.
April 8th. There you go. Look at Steven Engel right there.
April 8th. What is he talking about? Is he making a prediction?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what that means, actually. Yeah, because it was on April 5th, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Whatever.
Yeah. Hey,
go ahead, Sam. Tell us what you think.
Miracles are happening. We've got earthquakes in New Jersey. There's going to be an eclipse. And we saw the Devils win tonight. So, that's a trifecta right there. Look, the Devils managed. I don't want to take away the win and everything, but it's what Beachmaster said in the YouTube Live, Jack the Whiffer. I mean, that's second time this season. Jack, I don't know if there's something physically wrong with him or the pressure is getting to him or whatnot, because something just seems a little bit off because you're whiffing on a penalty shot again. Is there so much pressure? Go ahead.
And don't forget, I forgot to mention this. He couldn't get the puck out of the zone at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just thought of it when you were talking about that.
Well, I was going to get to that as well, but that's okay, Scotty. If you wanted to, take
steal your thunder.
Yeah, or
steal
my
your
lines,
shakes.
Just like take my lines like Beer Baron. That one time where I gave him show notes and he used everything, and he's like, "So what do you think, Sam?"
Well, I don't know. Everything that I thought, you just went ahead and said, actually.
That's why we don't do show notes anymore for the last 7 years. That was like early on. That was like early on in the Let's Go Devils pod. I believe that was season 1, episode 7. That's when it happened. Where I gave him the show notes because he didn't know what we were going to talk about. He was all nervous. So he just basically read off my show notes for about 10 minutes. And then he's like, so what are your thoughts on Bobby Farnham?
So what are your thoughts on your thoughts, Sam?
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll hear it from Beer Baron tomorrow after Tom tells him, what I said on air.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Look, Jake Allen played great, I thought.
Yep.
For the most part, he was making saves. I thought the Devils did play tough throughout, but I mean the hits that the Ottawa was putting on New Jersey. I didn't see the stats of the hits, but again, this team is very inconsistent because there were times during the game where I thought they were going to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, they're still mathematically in it, right? They're still mathematically in it. They've gotten a lot of help. They just hadn't helped themselves. I mean, even if they got 1 point out of the 3-game losing streak that they were on, they'd be in such a better position. I mean, they blew three leads, and now they put them in a position. They put themselves in such an impossible position to make the playoffs. And I know a lot of people are like, "Why are you talking about it?" I know that the chances are slim, but other than tonight, they've been getting a lot of help. It just seems like that last wild card spot, nobody wants it.
Nobody wants it.
That feel. I mean, the Islanders, moved ahead. The Flyers are floundering, like I was saying about 2 months ago. That's how the Devils are going to get it. But it may not even matter when they play the Flyers next week or a week from now, because it could be the Flyers are out of that spot and the Devils are just playing for points. So who knows at this point? The Pittsburgh Penguins, again, Devils didn't take care of business when they had the lead, and the Penguins have all this newfound momentum with a veteran team. They looked pretty good today against Tampa, who is a very tough team to beat, and the Penguins figured a way to win, and that's what good teams do. So, however, Devils win tonight. Win's a win. Thank you, Andrew Burnett. You couldn't help us tonight. Hopefully the Islanders wore them out. I believe we're going to face Saros tomorrow at the Rock, 7 p.m. start. And, look, if the Devils can get another win here, it's not going to be easy. I don't care how they do it, but they get another win here. They find themselves with 80 points. Am I right on that, Scotty? 80 points. And they're with...
Wait, who?
The Devils, if they win tomorrow.
If they win tomorrow, yes, 80. Yes.
80 points, potentially 3 points out of that playoff spot with 4 games remaining. It's still going to be an impossible task because you got to play Toronto, but it seems like the Devils play up to their opponents when they're good opponents, and they play down to their opponents like tonight. So you got to really take it one game at a time. I mean, basically, the Devils have to take care of business and just hope for the best. 88 points getting into the playoffs, that's a miracle in itself, but no one has demonstrated to me, none of these teams have demonstrated to me that they really want to make the playoffs up until today, that the Islanders and Penguins winning big games today. But remember, the Devils still have those games against the Islanders and the Flyers. However, I don't think it it may not mean anything, but it may. You never know. Lose Islanders could go on a 2-game losing streak and then find themselves trying to hold on to that spot towards the end of the season. You know, this game called hockey in the NHL, it's a game of momentum. What will the Devils could change the narrative if they just take care of their own business, but also hope that some of these teams just flop and the 3-point games are not in play. Because so far it's been happening.
I mean, it's going to be tough, though, because, you know, as Max is saying right here, the Red Wings and Sabres play tomorrow. Those are 2 teams right ahead of us. So, once again, we gotta just hope that this game ends in regulation. One way or the other. Because you don't want both teams somehow getting points. The Sens play the Caps. Can the Sens bounce back, you know, and beat the Capitals? Who seemed like 3 weeks ago, they looked like they were going to make an absolute run, and now they are just crashing and burning as well. So it's hard to figure out because the Pens looked like they were toast as well. And now all of a sudden they're in that wild card spot. I never would have guessed the Islanders would jump up to the way they are, where they are right now.
And you hope the Devils are the ones that are what the Pens and Islanders are, that you kind of write them off and then suddenly they're back in it. And that's what you at least hope. But again, they got to take care of business. I mean, they got to win. They got to run the table, Scotty. And that's the only thing they can do at this point. They put themselves in this position.
Yeah. And according to Ted, the Devils have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Nicely done, Ted. Nicely done.
Yeah, very nice.
Max, Scotty, and Sam, are you done with Siegs and Ball? Both are softer than a stick of butter in the Florida Heat for as big as they are. Yeah, that's a tough one. Siegenthaler is signed for, 3 more years after this?
Yeah.
And he gets a raise, too. So, I'm not sure about him. You know, he is coming back from the broken foot and everything like that. You would kind of, just for his size and his stature, you would hope you would get more physicality from him. But I just don't think that's in his game. Kevin Ball, I'm not sure. He played a good game tonight, but is he going to be anything more than like a third pairing D-man? I don't think he's going to be like that first pairing, second pairing guy. I just don't. I think he might make a good third pairing, but I just don't see him, being able to handle that load. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't see that happening.
I'll tell you who I'm done with.
Who's that?
I'm done with Jack Hughes.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Mr. Turnover himself. Either the pressure is getting to him or he's hurt. Maybe he hurt a wrist. I don't know. But
I mean, it would go with the rest of this season. The way we've had injuries on this team throughout. I wouldn't be surprised if he might be a little dinged up. I hope he's not just checked out of this season.
No, I don't think that's in his nature. I don't think that's.
I don't think so either.
No, that
I'm just. I hope not. But I'm just, there's going through the list of things there could be. Is it the confusion of changing coaches? Is it not being able to be comfortable with the line mates? I don't know, because he loved playing with Eric Haula last year. And everybody does well with Jesper Bratt, who was on his line today and has been on his line for quite some time throughout this season. So it's a little perplexing.
Well, Max
about what's
makes
going
a
on with
great
Jackie
point.
Boy.
He says his girlfriend is keeping him up late for 20-year-old activities. He's losing sleep. I know Max is joking around, but look, is what Mickey said.
That's a beer baron thing to blame the wives and girlfriends. Okay, that's a beer baron thing.
Well, Mickey said
hence why Rod Brindamore's never coming here.
Yeah, well, Mickey said in Rocky that they weaken the knees.
I think Max hit it right there. He just doesn't have that killer instinct this year for some reason. I don't know what it is. And it could be the wrist. It could be a shoulder. I mean, Jack missed time earlier in the season as well. And it could just be a thing where he's got a lingering injury throughout this year. Like, I don't see Jack as that guy to check out. I see him as someone who at times, hasn't seemed in like the past 2 months, but I always thought Jack was a guy that held accountability for this team because Jack expected his play to be at a certain level, and he expected the others to perform there as well. But in the last 2 months, some of that seems to be missing, just from my perspective. And again, I'm not saying that he's dogging it or anything, but
or he is that intense that it's I don't know.
It's overwhelming him. He's just so frustrated. He's just squeezing the stick too tight. He's trying too. I mean, that could be what it is, that he's trying way too hard.
Well, I think a lot of times
he's in his own head.
I think a lot of times he's overthinking it on the ice. And by the way, when I said I'm done with Jack Hughes, I don't really mean it. What I mean is I'm done with this type of play. Oftentimes, just I don't know. It's just I think he puts a lot on his shoulders. He wants to be the guy, and so far, he hasn't really come up in certain situations like the penalty shot, or twice, and had he buried that one shot, I forgot which game that was where he whiffed the first time. Yeah, these points matter, and they're all starting to pile up. Why the Devils are pretty much not going to the playoffs. So
if the Devils had 80 points right now with 5 games to go, it's a little bit more of a different story. But the Devils did this themselves. There's so many games that they could have won that
those 3, Scotty, against Pittsburgh, you would have knocked them 2 points as well. Against the Rangers and the Sabres, you would knock them 2 points. That's 6 points right there. Add 6 to their total right now. 78 plus 6. That's 84 points that they would be in a playoff spot. They blew those leads. Somehow they didn't blow those leads as much under Lindy, but under Travis Green, they blew those leads. So, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think with Jack, I think it's an injury. I've thought that for a while. And I think what we're saying is right. He might be putting way too much pressure on himself to try and carry this team.
Yeah.
Especially through all of the other injuries that this team has gone through. Don't forget, there is a whopping 70-plus points missing from this team with Dougie Hamilton gone for the entire year. That's 70 points taken away. That's a lot. And Dougie's weren't just all assists either. How many game winners did he have last year?
Dougie? I don't know.
It's a big blow. It was a big blow to this team.
Yeah, also, Brendan Smith, I don't know why he gets so much hate from Devils fans. I hope they re-sign him.
Being that he's stopped taking all the dumb penalties, and Brendan Smith has been a leader on the ice physically, and it seems like he is one of the ones that has really led the charge of hey, guys, we got to stand up for each other. I am fine with them bringing back Brendan Smith.
What were your thoughts on that? Kachuk drawing that double minor from Ball. That was just
like I said, I thought it was ridiculous because Brady Tkachuk was the one who dropped his gloves first, and had him off and was ready to go. I thought it should have just been a minor. That's what I really thought.
If
I thought
anybody that should have gotten an instigator it was Brady Tkachuk, right there.
Yeah, I didn't think that I didn't think that Kevin Ball deserved a double minor for that. I thought it should have just been evened up, 1-for-1. Because I mean, watch the replay. Kachuk's gloves were off before Kevin Ball's were.
Yeah.
And then whoever it was, I can't remember, someone pulled Kevin Ball out, and that's when Brendan Smith came in there. So I thought that was kind of a bad call, in the sense where just give him matching minors and be done with it. Like, I don't think there was any need for that double minor on Kevin Ball.
Yep. Agreed. Well, we have a game tomorrow, Scotty, and hopefully they can get some more help. We'll be doing a lot of scoreboard watching.
But they have to win, and they got a tough challenge with the Nashville Predators, who, look out, are also playing the second game of a back-to-back. So we know this has been the Devils' kryptonite all year. What are they, 3-11-1 or something like that in the second games of the back-to-back?
Yeah.
So we know they struggle, but if there was ever a time, guys, that you need a game and you have to get it, we've said, I don't know how many times we've said this is a must-win situation, but this one is an absolute must-win situation. If you want to keep the slimmest of hopes alive, you got to beat our old buddy Andrew Burnett and the Nashville Predators tomorrow.
All right, so I'm going to look at the schedule tomorrow and see what we'll be watching. Let's go to Sunday on the app. Red Wings Sabres. We hope they both lose, but that won't happen. Let's see.
The first ever National Hockey League double loss coming tomorrow. Mark your calendars, folks.
We got to thank the BJs for beating the Flyers tonight. Let's see here. Senators, Capitals. That's gonna be a game that, and it's gonna be in Washington. Well rested Capitals.
Well, hopefully the Sens are pissed after tonight. Come on, Brady. Do your thing against the Capitals as well, buddy. Huh? How about that?
Even though he shouldn't have done it, I actually enjoyed the fact that Nico put the puck in the net in the end there.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I knew that was gonna cause. As soon as that happened, I knew it was gonna cause like an issue. But
I think do you think he did it on purpose? Just to see what would happen.
I don't know if he did it on purpose. He was gonna score anyway, but the time just ran out, and I think he was just. I don't know. I think he just had like kind of like a brain fart there, where it was just like, it almost turned into like, oh, whatever, like I said, he didn't like actually shoot it. He just like kind of guided it and let it roll off his stick, like into the net. So, whatever, it is what it is. One of those unwritten rules. Fine, whatever.
Well, I've been ripping on Nico Hischier all week about taking the C off of his jersey, but if he did that on purpose, I want the C back on.
I think Nico is fine. I think he's going to get better with this leadership role. I think not that I want to see him do it, but I think Nico has just got to, one of these days he's just got to like drop the gloves and go at it with someone at some point.
Yeah.
Because every captain seems to have, at some point or another, had to step up at some point in that, in that sort of light. And I don't know. I think the guys would just rally around him if he did that. And not that I want to see him do it all the time, but I still remember going to a Blackhawks Devils game and Taze was, dropping him at center ice. And it was Rico that stood up. But he did it because the Devils were up like 3-1. They scored like 2 or 3 goals in a row. And then you just have to do it. Change that momentum. And sometimes that's the role of the captain. And your team will follow you. So we'll see. We shall see. But you know what? We're going to be back tomorrow. Oh, who was? Oh, it was Ridley Greg? That was the slap shot. Thank you, Max. Yeah. I mean, he was the guy who did the slap shot into the empty net against the Toronto Maple Leafs a few months back. That was a lot worse than what Nico. That was disrespectful. But what Nico did, I don't think was horrible, but it's one of those unwritten rules of hockey, so whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But we're going to be back tomorrow doing it all over again for you with some Game Day Live and Devils After Dark, hoping for another Devils victory so we can keep those extremely slim playoff chances alive, Sam Woo.
Yeah. Gives us something to talk about. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you to all those tuning in, dropping the podcast at midnight. We'll be back. Game Day Live, Devils After Dark. Obviously, the Sunday edition we won't have, but there'll be plenty to talk about. Till next time, Let's go Devils.